Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 21. So this was our debut for ZenKaijuOh. We have debuted both armors, one of which in a weird crossover, but now we get to debut the actual mecha combination. And it was overall a pretty solid and entertaining episode. The villains are all upset because the Rangers have new powers, and they send out their new monster, which is basically a copy monster. And it, like, copies people and has them fight. And then they ultimately end up doing it to the Zenkaigers too. Like, the Zenkaigers show up on the scene, and 4 out of 5 of them are going to try to help the citizens from causing destruction, and that leaves Zenkaiser by himself, and he's happy to see TwoKaiser there, so they fight the monster together, but then they get copied. And this was reminding me of a whole bunch of things. For whatever reason, of the blue villain guy from Invincible that's like, I'm the original, I'm the copy. And then also, of course, the copy monster from Dino Thunder. It doesn't matter which one. I always say the wrong Dino because there's too many Dino series. That's basically what happens. They create copies of TwoKaiser and Zenkaiser, and they run around causing havoc and like framing them for crimes. And Kaito even gets arrested. And the funniest part is, like, Kaito gets arrested and you think, okay, they're gonna be, you know, confused for the whole episode. But the cops are actually smart enough to realize, like, hey, there's the guy still out here causing trouble while you're in custody, so we believe you. But it's funny that they're like, oh yeah, we believe you, but then TwoKaiser breaks him out of jail in the most, like, showy way possible. He kicks down the door, escapes in an explosion on the ship, and that's just kind of funny because I was expecting them to spend a little bit of time on the how do we know you're the real Kaito, but they believed him right away, but then TwoKaiser kind of screwed it up. But he didn't face any repercussions later. Basically, we'll get to the final fight after the other 4 confront the clones and they can't fire at them because they look like they're friends. But then we get to the final fight, and the other 4 robot guys, they use the Bioman change the gear, and then in order to defeat them, Zenkaiser and TwoKaiser just use their power-ups because they weren't copied when they were using their power-ups, so the copies don't have access to them. So they're obviously more powerful. We get to see them working together. The most entertaining part, though, was when they did the roll call because the Rangers morph. I almost said mention, like morph and henshin. Mention. That sounds kind of dirty. Anyway, Horf? That sounds worse. Ah, Mr. Wolf. I just got off track. They all morph at the same time, the evil guys and the good guys. And so evil Zenkaiser, like, interrupts Jurans to do his henshin. I'm getting the words mixed up. To do his roll call. And then, like, later when they do the pose, he's trying to worm in on it, and Zenkaiser has to get him out of there. And then copy TwoKaiser pushes TwoKaiser out of there. I really like stuff like this. I've mentioned that in previous weeks. They've been doing some sort of funny, unique roll calls. It very much so reminds me of Kara Major would do that very often, based on whatever situation was happening, and I always found it to be entertaining and creative, so I really liked that. But then when we get to the mecha battle, the mecha get copied too, and the copy mechs defeat the regular mechs. And so just as TwoKaiser is about to use his regular one, Flint's like, okay, no, we have this new mecha formation for you. So that's when we get the debut. Zenkaiser obviously just grows big, and then TwoKaiser becomes one of the little chibi rebels like his brother, and there's some sort of comedic moments of him being like, what the hell, man? It's really funny. And then they transform together into ZenKaijuOh, which if you didn't know, if somehow this is your first time seeing it and you don't keep up with the pre-news and the magazine scans and the toy news, but it's a design combination just like the forms, V-Rex or Q-Rex and Dragon Caesar / Dragon Zord. And next to next to TwoKaiser, it's like the most obvious reference one. Like 90% of the Zenkaiger designs are based off of an inspiration of some sort of Sentai because it's the anniversary, obviously. But TwoKaisers is the most obvious. This is the second most obvious. With that being said, I think it's really awesome. I really dig it a lot, you know, because I love both of those Zords. I think they look really cool together. It's a cool fight. It's an anniversary series. It's a great concept for it. I just really like it a lot. And seeing it in action had me liking it even better. And I feel like there's probably a bunch of jokes you could make about, you know, my Q-Rex could eat his Dragon Zord for lunch. And he did it. It took a while to do it. So they save the day. And then it's funny because at the end then they wave off TwoKaiser and they're like, well, you were always a criminal. And then I guess they kind of chalk it up to, like, yeah, he was always a criminal just like the copy. But the copy was causing problems. And Kaito made TwoKaiser promise that he wouldn't cause any damage. So, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of character development, and I didn't really feel that there was necessarily any progress made of like TwoKaiser and the Zenkaigers really having a huge understanding and bonding. It felt rather just kind of frivolous for the episode. It was kind of more about TwoKaiser, at least from my perspective, like not wanting his reputation being ruined by this guy. I mean, there's obviously a little bit of connection being built there between them, but it wasn't anything super meaty, if that makes any sense. And then we do have a little bit of kind of a teaser of Professor Guy saying like, well, you know, I'm tired of them getting all these power-ups and stuff, but I haven't just been sitting here. I've been creating something. And then he calls Stacy over, and Stacy kind of pauses for a second, likely alluding to his conflict over his emotions over his family and the grandmother. But there's going to be something happening with Stacy last week, and it was just in the nick of time because I was just thinking, like, where's Stacy been, man? Stacy's been kind of a waste. But overall, it was a solid episode. I would probably give it a 3 out of 5. You know, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I liked the premise. I liked the debut of the mech. There were some really fun scenes within it. I always dig the original roll call. Just a very solid episode. Yeah, there's not really too much else to say. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you think of the mech debut? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.